And yet another thing is like, Father, it's likely politics. Yeah.
Welcome. Every being is a political.
Yeah.
And our vision was different. If you say Gen Z is different, their vision of the world, their vision of the nation is also different. Of course, my personal perspective is I don't judge easily anything. You are saying there is drugs and people. Do I judge them? I think all of us have that rebellion in us for something or the other. But then how do we channelize? How do those of us who can guide people help them to channelize? I think the challenge is there. That is where we are losing out today. Soul is, at the end of it, that's what is something that dictates everything that is right or wrong. Advice is keep working hard, never give up.
And Father, you told you have been to Netherlands as well.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
lived there for 6+ years.
6+ years. Okay. So it's again another biggest, you can say, problem issue in the society, and mostly the youth are being crucified, saying like they are into drugs and alcohol too much. And being a person who lived in Netherlands, especially I believe in Amsterdam, we have heard like drugs are legal, okay, prostitution is happening as such, okay, but still the country have a stabilization. Can you please speak a bit more about that?
That's where I think I love Netherlands, and in fact, some of my friends they used to tease me, "Oh, you have Dutch mind." The Dutch themselves.
Yeah.
They used to tell me I have Dutch mind. What does it mean? It simply means that you are straightforward. You are able to speak your mind. That's what it means actually. And I love that. Something that I learned there. Coming to your question, it is a very interesting question because the entire tourist crowd, they just land in Amsterdam Central, and the first thing they do is come out and walk left because that is where you have the red light district.
Red light district. Okay. All right.
What you mentioned, the prostitutes and drugs and cafes and whatnot. And to be frank, that is one district where I go every week.
Okay.
So I know what question you were
Puzzled.
framing.
Yeah.
Priest, what do you do there? I was part of the work that was run by the Don Bosco Netherlands, and most of that work was actually run by young people who have had previous experience of. This is a place where we used to get the volunteers, Dutch volunteers, and send them to the developing nations to work with the street children projects,
Okay.
wherever these Don Bosco projects were. So these young people used to go to all the nations in Africa, in South Asia, anywhere, So they used to. So in the weekends they used to come and stay with us as a kind of living experience. And then we take them to the red light districts. Interestingly, in that red light district, there is a district called green light district.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new information.
That is a very, very good information for you. So if you go next time, you just get out of Amsterdam Central, turn left, and on the first street you will have a cafe. The cafe is named Green Light. I hope that cafe is still there.
Okay.
So you can always have
what is the difference between red and green?
exactly. So what is the difference? Of course, my personal perspective is I don't judge easily, anything, you are saying there is drugs and people, do I judge them? Rather, why did they turn to that type of situation, that is more reflective than straight away condemning something. With that open mind, we explored, and we came to know, even among these prostitutes, they go hungry. They don't have food. And sometimes you have these community kitchen people going around asking people whether they have had their dinner, lunch, and they serve them soup, a warm meal, because they have not had. So there are, social groups like that. I even know nuns were working, priests were working.
So is that what is happening in the green light area?
That is what is, within this red light district,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who try to do good. And not all the shops are also, they sell drugs. I mean, of course, it is a national policy. They are doing it. It is available. But then people are very, very matured. You don't really see people, going overboard with any of these addictions. At least I didn't see in my time. I left Netherlands in 2014, now almost 10 years. So, of course, I go in the summer, but now I don't go back to red light district because, first of all, I don't have that kind of time. And it is not that something people like to go to red light district. It is not true. I don't know, maybe it is the kind of situation that forces them to be there. And I always saw these warriors being there, working with them, was something very different. The priest with whom I stayed, he literally worked for all those people, whether they were prostitutes, whether they were drug addicts. In fact, this priest with whom I lived, who was my huge inspiration at that time, he had a will written that he should be buried in a place where all these drug addicts were buried. And he is buried there.
That's a completely different...
So I had, if I go to the Netherlands, I go quite, when I go there for some meetings, I always go there and relive this experience in that cemetery. But anyway, it is all, when you start narrating stories, there are a lot of stories that emerge. I'll tell you one interesting episode. There were some friends who had come from India. We took them along with the volunteers, and they also, there were volunteers, there were priests from India. So I'm also a priest from India, okay. So we all went and walking around, and they were just moving. There was a girl, in those cabins, she just came. I just put a hand around her shoulder. I said, "Have you had your dinner?" Otherwise, I thought I could tell the sisters that somebody is, So they all turned back. They were shocked. "What? You were talking to this person?" I said, "So what? This is what..."
And she's a prostitute.
Yeah, exactly, That is where I want to pull in, Pope Francis, when he was, flying back from the World Youth Day in Brazil. The journalists were, asking him, "What's your opinion or getting the divorced and LGBTQ community attending the church services or marriage?" He just spoke one sentence: "Who am I to judge?" Okay, at that time I never thought of this thought. But today, without even knowing, that is what probably I did at that time. But I didn't put it in words. But today I have a mandate that I could say, who am I to judge? Right from a Pope, you know what I mean? This is what the church is all about. You started with that,
yes.
I think that is what, not only the church, every religion offers this.
That's really great.
That beautiful humanity that we all should protect and cherish and take it forward to to the people around and also to the next generation, you know.
But Father, have you
So
noticed?
Christianity is not an exception or something. I see that value in. But okay, I am follower of this. I cherish. I get into that too much. But I'm sure that is what I see all around.
The young generation, like, yes, of course, they are into several distractions.
Yeah.
Haven't you noticed, like, the youth are rebellious?
Yeah, they are rebellious. They will be rebellious. I was rebellious. I'm telling you. I think I should tell you the secret. I went on a strike when I was a 5th standard student. Can you believe this?
Okay.
5th standard.
Okay. 10 years of old.
Saying, down, down, the nuns, down, down, you know. Of course, that has got a long story. But then I think all of us have that rebellion in us for something or the other. But then how do we channelize? How do those of us who can guide people help them to channelize? I think the challenge is there. That is where we are losing out today. You know, the young people, they should know first, you know, be rebellious. Absolutely no problem. Be rebellious. But then identify where your rebellion can be channeled. You know, it can be anything. It can be people. It can be what you do. And that is very important for young people of today. You know, turn to right people or turn to right thing.
Yes, and also, Father, it's like being rebellious in the sense, like, it's in all sense. Starting from the religion, if you take many of the other priests, when we discuss, see, I thought, like, the youth are not interested to go to the temple or church.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? How you look at that?
Absolutely fine. It is a process, you know. Probably the young people are going through a kind of inner search, you know. When I claim that they should come to my church, am I offering that thing that connects them with their search? So the question and onus is on me to reflect, then simply saying, oh, they are not coming to the church, they are not coming to the temple, they are not going to the mosque. Okay, how do I connect with them? Have I built in my skills, my kind of offer to get them? So the reflection should be more inward looking than simply just looking at the young people saying.
Yes. Rather than criticizing them,
absolutely.
better we correct. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And yet another thing is, like, Father, it's slightly politics. Yeah.
Welcome. Every being is a political being.
Because now we have seen there was a time people used to say, and Gen Z, fit for nothing, only virtual. Now what we are seeing is like Madagascar, Kenya, Morocco, Nepal. Okay, everywhere you are finding like Gen Zs on the street. Okay, so what do you think, like, their contribution towards politics? Are they aware of it as a person who's keenly observing them?
Yeah, no, it's very true. I'm very familiar with politics also. I suppose it has nothing to do with. I mean, everywhere you have this. The political aspect of human being, and you need to know, coming to the Gen Z, it will be there. It will be there everywhere because, just let's go back, you and I go back. We always had a vision of how my world should be, how my nation should be, and our vision was different. If you say Gen Z is different, their vision of the world, their vision of the nation is also different. If that aspiration is not fulfilled, definitely they will come out. Okay? Now, there is a catch. The coming out part, what you really you know, ignite in them. Is it the right thing or the wrong thing? So because, it is a generation which has too much of information that I never had in my life, and it is plentiful. And it can function in a very different way than it functioned to me. So there again, there is a responsibility in guiding this force. There is nothing wrong because it is their world. Be open to what is going to happen. And that is where it should educate me more, how I need to handle this generation.
So that is what the responsibility of the government also, the governance.
The government, the society. Also, I will never take off the individual responsibility. I will not free the Gen Z. Okay, guys, it is all our responsibility to educate you, so we will educate. No. The individual responsibility is as important as, But, yeah, so it is okay if that is a force. It has happened in many places. It is happening, which means they are creating their own world.
Their own space.
Their own space. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also, Father, when I was exploring about you, okay, very curious, and I've seen like in Yerkad, you were doing a revolution during the COVID with the same youth, Gen Z people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Was
This
that?
is where I think we make, see, that was a very, very interesting phenomenon. I think probably why I'm sitting today in such a good place, the government picked me up, is also, I think that was also noticed at that time, irrespective of which government, because we worked with the entire government machinery. In Yerkad, if you see, there are 61 villages in this entire mountain. And suddenly, no transport, nothing was coming. Literally, there was nothing to eat because no work. And a lot of these hotels also shut down. A lot of people worked there. And nothing could go down. So we know the situation is very different from the plains. Plains, it is everything you can access easily. Here, things were different. So that is where we immediately sprang into action. But then I had like 50 people inside the institution. I didn't want to send them out because I didn't want them to get affected by COVID-19. I wanted to protect the institution. Not because I was not taking risk on them. I needed a good team to work inside. Only then the plan will work out. So one team was completely here. Then we had another set of young people, about 80 of them with their bikes and jeeps and whatnot. Then another entire set of people in the individual villages.
So you were doing a supply chain.
Something like that. So what these young people inside will do, they will pack stuff for each family. Then they bring it to the gate. The next team, it is a kind of relay that we were doing. And these people, where the jeeps can go, they will go by jeeps, bikes can go, they will go by bikes. And then they will have to go to many places, right? So even a village is not 40 families, 40 houses a village. There, 3 houses will be there, 4 houses will be here. Hills,
yes,
you understand, no? Yeah. We call it a village, but then even to go from one house to the other. So what those people, young people from the village, they will come to this bike place. So they will carry the stuff to the families.
Okay.
So it was a kind of 3 team that was operating during COVID, the first wave, And the second wave, that it was not affected in terms of food or anything. Still there were people like that. But we came into another reality. people were dying.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of people who came from Bangalore or whatever. So we had to deal with the deaths and real COVID. People were affected by COVID. And the district administration had allotted only in Salem. But then they thought not everybody is going from Yerkad, right? From Yerkad to Salem is 1 hour. But then if you come from the 61st village, it is 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to fight fight in the sense, in a good sense, positive way, request the government, you give us, they said finance, because that was a huge expense.
And I believe like that was a wonderful
Exactly,
impact.
and then the doctors, everything government has to give, no?
Yeah.
So it was not easy for them either. So we appealed to the who is who of the local people, tied up with the hospital. I tell you, we got everything we wanted. The government gave the permission. They were even giving food for the patients. We had 75 of them with top-class facilities, I must say, because even when people were running short of oxygen, we had enough oxygen in Yerkad. And all the 75 people were, cured, and they were perfect. And that COVID care center, probably one of a kind, at least in Tamil Nadu, I know, because it was totally on private-public partnership kind of thing. But the government was very understanding at the end of it, and that was all, as you know, coming back to the question that you asked. I think we were able to achieve all this because of those young people who came forward to work, because they were there, they were risking everything.
They are selfless also.
Absolutely. Some young people's mother or sister or somebody, they were all, affected by COVID. We had to even hurry them, take them for a very intensive care unit. Despite all that, they will be there to do this work.
A big applause for all of them.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. That
Awesome.
was phenomenal.
And
very motivated. They have actually, they have created a lake that would give water to 10 villages.
Oh, that's great.
So that is why we were talking about Senzi, they are amazing. If we can direct them in the right way, I think it is a two-way responsibility that works.
Awesome. And Father, from there straight away,
Yeah.
as the first Catholic priest towards the
Yeah.
Constitution, okay, now Honorable Council Member of TNPSC.
Yeah.
How was the journey going?
It is going fantastic. Nothing very, of course, I had this public administration background, and later I was working in very many setups. I think I had over the time picked up that knowledge, that expertise to work. And I must be also very grateful to the government that looked outward to bring in a very rich team that will have a kind of inclusive team. And then they were quite serious about a lot of things, kind of transparency to come in and do the entire recruitment in a social justice way and make sure the systems are in place. So a lot of things happened. Probably it is there, I was probably picked up with that intention. But then the journey itself is fantastic. In the last 4 years, with all my, sincerity, I can say we have done all the candidate-oriented policies, candidate-oriented friendly way of, approaching this institution, or even taking in a very friendly way the whole recruitment process between the candidates and we. There had been ups and downs. Nobody can deny.
One question which
Yeah.
might be a little bit different in the sense like we have heard like people who are associating with government,
Yeah.
politicians,
Yeah.
it's not easy to deal with them.
Yeah.
What is your experience?
It is very easy. You look around. I mean, it depends with whom you are dealing with, you know. I have experienced even now the politicians, not just the ruling party, even, you know, all the parties, and amazing bureaucrats. I think sometimes it is kind of the mental block or the makeup, I guess. Probably I was also thinking like that, you know. People would be very unapproachable and things like that. But today, you are part of it, you know, okay, it's not that, you know. At least I know I am not like that. Maybe because I have not got into this mode.
Yeah.
I am still what I am, what I was. But then I see it as, maybe also it is very, very relative way of judging.
Okay. And all right. So thank you so much, Father. That was,
Thank you.
really abundance of knowledge, information, ideas, lot about things. Okay. So now we have a small segment here. Okay. It is a self-reflection.
Okay, curious.
Okay. So I'll be telling a word, okay, or else a phrase.
Okay.
What is coming to your mind about that? You
Okay.
can speak. All right.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. So the first one is replacing negative thoughts to positive.
Oh, that's very nice. I keep working on it every day. See, all of us are hardwired to have negativity straight away because that is easy. So do a little bit of hard work to make that thought into a positive thought.
Awesome. Amazing. All right. Now, next is soul and creativity.
Yeah. Soul is, you know, at the end of it, that's what is something that dictates everything that is right or wrong. And then it tells you take the right way. And taking that right way in the right manner is creativity.
All right. Opportunity.
I think all of us have it in abundance because the world is full of opportunities. Let us look at those opportunities. Then I think we will just keep journeying in a very happy way.
Okay, now the last one is not on the list, but I'm creating it on the spot.
Yeah.
A celebrated priest.
No, there is nothing like celebrated priest. The mere fact that you are a priest, it calls for sacrifice. There is no you can celebrate priesthood, but there is no celebrated priest.
In the sense like a priest is not a celebrity.
No, he is not. I mean, the least he should be a celebrity.
Okay.
He should never be a celebrity. You just be a priest, be human priest if you want to put an adjective like that.
It's a wonderful phrase.
Yeah.
So, Father, at last, on the camera, as you are from the TNPSC,
Yeah.
there are a lot of candidates, youngsters,
Yeah.
who are wanted, craving somehow to get into the list.
Yeah.
And advice.
Advice is keep working hard, never give up. I meet young people who clear their exams and come. The last time I was giving the appointments and interacting with them, they come from a very, very, very misfortune situations, very struggling situations. Totally remote areas with a lot of difficulties. They have made it. If the people I have met and given the job certificate, if they have made it, I think all of you right there. And people have made it in 4th time, 5th time. I know one candidate did it 10th time. Hats off to these young people. So don't give up. There is always, and as I said, opportunities are there. Look into various places, you will find them.
Amazing. That's amazing. That was a real motivation. The entire crew is like smiling. That's cool. Father, ONSense talk.
Yes, it is fabulous. First experience. The name captivated me. I think there is a soul, there is a creativity in the name itself, because you just put one yen in front, it becomes nonsense. But I think today everybody has something sense to speak to. So I think this is kind of Zen Z or Zen Alpha kind of invention, I guess. So ONSense is fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Father. So it's like, pleasure, happy. We are on cloud 9, the entire team, entire crew.
Thank you. I'm very, very
Because
humbled.
From your
for
busy
getting
schedule, sacrificing this much of time, coming over here, sitting in the studio, speaking with us, sharing your knowledge, your experience, that was amazing. Abundance. Thank you so much, Father.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Pleasure is mine.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.